So you want guitar to have that addictive quality that games have, and you want to feel like you're like leveling up, then give this a go. So I used to be kind of addicted to games, like it was my main kind of purpose and hobby. And when I picked up a guitar, I genuinely almost just stopped playing games altogether. I haven't played a game in like a year or so properly without, a silly little game here and there, like with your girlfriend or whatever. And that's because, at the start of learning a new skill, so guitar, I would you get that feeling of progression like really fast. Like the first week, for instance, you'll learn like five new things and you get better quite quickly because you've went from zero to, playing now. But when you've been playing for a little while, you kind of reach, plateaus where it feels like you're not getting any better. Some days it feels like you've gotten worse somehow, and it just doesn't feel like you're like leveling up or progressing. So I'm a big fan of the 10,000 hour rule. That's kind of my thing. But I recently watched a video on the 20 hour rule, which is, it's like a TED Talk video on YouTube. You can find a lot of videos on it. I recommend watching it. 10,000 hours is more of a long-term mastery thing. I mean, it's like a year in actual time, so it's not something you just do in a weekend. But 20 hours is more like a short-term thing to get, proficient at a goal. So if you're kind of like me and you want like 10,000 hours on one specific thing, you might be like, oh, 20 hours is nothing, I do that every week or whatever. And you maybe discredit that idea. So I thought like this at first about it, and then I realised, all big topics have like subtopics. So for example, with guitar, those jazz, blues, classical, finger picking, alternate picking, sweep picking, stuff like that. So pick like five things you want to get good at right now, and your goal is just to get to 20 hours of them. So you could set like a month deadline or something, and that would be like an hour a day or something like that. And by the time that's done, you'd be at 20 hours of them. And this kind of just feels like you're like leveling up like little individual skills, and you feel the progression a bit more. So I'd say you want to learn like jazz, for example, just get the 20 hours in of that, and you'll be semi-proficient. I mean, I know jazz is like one of those ones you have to spend ages on, but you'll be somewhat proficient, and you may never even play or learn any more jazz again, but you'll always have that under your belt. I feel like this gives you more of that game feeling where you're like leveling up, especially with like individual parts, and you can kind of see the progression. Like say you want to get really good at alternate picking, then try to get like 100 hours in it. You'd be surprised how little time you actually spend on like these individual skills, and maybe you just spend too much time like noodling. So I'm currently doing this with sweep picking. I've never really been good at it, and I figured, well, if I put 20 hours of like focused practice into it over a month or so, then by the end of it I'll be able to do it somewhat proficiently, so give it a try.